Here's my attempt to describe sacred obligation. Let's say you went through hell. You lived through an entire chunk of your life where you just felt like you couldn't imagine it getting any worse, didn't see a way out, and got to the end of your rope in whatever way that means for you. And then, slowly, you found little cracks in the walls that you thought you were completely encased in. And as you got closer to the cracks and you sort of started peeking through and sticking your fingers in there, you realized that you could actually move them away and make them wide enough to shimmy your way through into the next room, whatever that was. And you kept doing this till you found paradise. Just to kind of continue the metaphor of hell, going to paradise. So you find paradise. It's like you've got endless expanses of nature, whatever paradise is for you. I don't even want to paint that picture. I'm going to let you imagine what paradise is for you. So you discovered this through your own searching and efforts in terms of approaching what you perceived as possibilities. And you navigated your way into paradise from hell. So you're sitting there enjoying paradise, really just basking in it, but at some level you're sort of also a little bit wondering if it could really just be as simple as sitting there and enjoying paradise after all you've been through. So what is the sacred obligation now that you have reached paradise? And here's my question that I'm asking myself. What I believe and what's true for me and what I'm going to decide to believe as I proceed forward. To me, there's the sacred obligation of fully enjoying paradise and becoming as fully merged with paradise as I can, becoming the embodiment of that. Or kind of the bodhisattva route, if you know Buddhism, of saying, I've found paradise, but before I completely just let go into enjoying paradise and being there, I vow to show everyone that I know, who I come into contact with in this life, who's in hell, that particular hell that I know, how I got out, and how they can also get out, if they choose to apply the lessons and the practices. And if you take that second definition of the sacred obligation as before you sort of just lie down in the field of paradise, that you have a sacred obligation to show those who are in your particular hell how you got out of hell and how they can too. That's your service. That's your greatest gift that you could possibly offer in the world. So this metaphor is one that, when I first heard it, I immediately thought of two forms of hell that I had been in. And they were big. It was this kind of cultural prison I was in, and then the professional prison that I was in, and all the habits that were associated with that. And it was scary to actually think about, like I was just tasting this possibility of paradise existing for the first time. And it was scary to think about going back and talking to the people in hell. My hell. I didn't want to. And what has opened for me, just as an unfolding of the Success 3.0, part of the awakening for me, is the possibility that I can, and that part of my enjoyment of my own paradise is to be able to recognize the particular hell I was in, and to know that what I've tasted in this journey is of value to people who are in that exact hell right now, searching for the tiny crack in the wall that might show them the way that they can open it up and step through. But it's what I'm finding is that process is part of my transformation for me, to go back and reunionize myself with those parts of myself, and see that I'm not that. But I experience that. I know that. But I am not, that's not who I am. It's what I know from experience and what I've grown through, and how I choose to bring myself back into those worlds is another really interesting practice for me, to just not get to maintain my shining light as I've discovered it to be, the joy of being in this creative space of freedom in my expression, and to dare to touch and stay and encounter people in this other form of hell that I know so well but would rather not look at. And believe me, I've been here for 5 years trying to not look at that. And what I'm getting now from this idea of sacred obligation is it just keeps coming back to me. It's like knocking on my door, like, hello, you know this. So it's almost like if you knew about a problem happening somewhere that you experienced yourself, that you rose above and managed to escape, how would you choose to give back in service to that problem that you know of? Because it's a choice. You can ignore it also. You can just kind of transition into the other world that you've created and live amongst those people, whoever they are. But I'm really interested in my own experience of how these worlds of physician burnout and the whole bad Asian daughter world keep coming back to me. I keep meeting people, not in huge crowds, but one at a time. They come to me thanking me for sharing what I'm sharing and the particular details of my journey, because it is helpful to hear stories. It's helpful to hear how people escape from hell. And this is part of the web of human life. We have this thing called the internet now that enables stories to be shared across great distances instantaneously. Sacred obligation. What's yours, and how do you choose to do it?